Welcome back to this week's episode of Green Enterprise, a partnership between my company, Digital Venture Partners, and Black Enterprise Magazine, where every week I have a conversation with a prominent Black cannabis executive that is creating progress within the space, but more importantly, creating an architecture for more of us to come in and find success as well. This week I have with me Dr. Patricia Green-Powell, the Executive Director of the Miri program at Florida A&M University. How are you doing today, Dr. Green-Powell?
I am doing fine. And thank you so much, Andrew, for having this dialogue with me. It means an awful lot because I know what you're doing in this space and how impactful you are to HBCUs. And so as an HBCU graduate, this is just so satisfying to my palate in terms of what we do and how we do it, how well we do it. Let me correct how well we do it. And so I'm just looking forward to the event that's coming up.
Yes, thank you so much. I mean, as a
Sure.
Black professional, to be interviewing a leader from a Black college, arguably the most prestigious one, on Black Enterprise Magazine, my mom and my grandma are super proud of me. So I appreciate you, first of all, coming together with us for the event that we'll be talking about in a second. But before we jump into all the cannabis conversation, I would love for you to give our viewers your professional background before you came into the space.
Well, it's a long, wide, and very varied background. I'll say it like that. But let me just say, first off, I am a very proud Rattler, as it's my family. All of us, I'm from a huge family of 11 children, and everyone came to FAMU except one, the baby in the family. We often tease her, we say, you must have bumped your head if you didn't come to FAMU. But she was a basketball player, and of course, she went to another Florida institution. But I am a very proud, and I'm going to give the year. And so somebody out there, Andrew, will be scratching their head trying to figure out, well, how old is that woman? But I'm a 1973 proud FAMU graduate. I have a bachelor's degree in speech pathology and audiology, which means years ago, we had a speech and language program here at the university. And of course, from there, education has always been my passion. I had good mentors in my family, my sisters, my brothers, all of them were education majors, except, Robert was in pharmacy. I won't get into that piece of it, but I've worked at Florida Department of Education. I did a stint at South Carolina State. I have worked at Bainbridge College. In fact, I was the very first Black vice president for student affairs there. Then I came to Florida A&M University as a vice president for student affairs, moved over to the College of Education, of course, where I'm a full professor there in the Department of Educational Leadership. And so one day, just minding my own business in the College of Education, and was asked to head up the Florida A&M University Medical Marijuana Education Research Initiative. And I jumped at the opportunity because I like that the newness of what we're doing in this space, but more than anything, how do we educate our minority communities? And I'll get into that just a little bit. So it's a position where I say it all the time, I'm a preacher's daughter. So the Lord prepared me for this. Everything that I have done in my career has led me to this space of educating minorities. And when I say that, I say it in all with a good heart, because the older adults, I've got some adult education experience in there. To help them, I've got special needs experience. And so as I look at my background, it's just come full circle, Andrew, about using my skills to get this message out. So quite proud of it.
Yes, and I'm proud of you. Just knowing you, the conversations we've had, and just us being able to come together and just create programming together. I would love for you to give our viewers an overview of the Miri program and what's the goal of it, and kind of what's the feedback. What has it been in the communities that you're looking to impact throughout Florida so far?
Yeah, and thank you for that question. Let me just say, we get asked all the time, why did you all call yourself Miri? MMERI. It's actually a play on words. Marijuana, Medical Marijuana Education and Research Initiative, MMERI. And so our charge from the Florida legislature is to educate minorities about marijuana for medical use and the consequences, the impact and consequences of unlawful use of marijuana on our minority groups as well. So, and so the charge is one that we embrace all of us. And we're a small team, and I'll get to that in just a little bit. But we want our communities, minority communities, to know the medicinal value. Andrew, you and I both know the health disparities that exist in our Black and Brown communities. And we also know, and I'm going to use a term that most people may not know, we've got minorities went to prison, went to jail for having a nickel bag, a dime bag, very small amount of illegal. And so knowing that medical marijuana is legal in the state of Florida, street or recreational is not. We really do have to make certain that our minority communities are very much aware of that. And so that's what MMERI is challenged to do, not challenged or mandated to do, I'll say it that way. And so when we look at how massive this is to reach all of these minority groups, and we know from the population data that our Hispanic population is our largest, followed by African American. Our next largest are Asian population, and our fourth largest are our Native American Indians. And so with that in mind, MMERI has created something for everybody's palate in that lineup. What do you mean by that, Dr. Green-Powell? Our collaterals are in Spanish, French, Haitian Creole, Mandarin. We have to make certain that we're reaching individuals where they are. For our individuals who are in rural communities, I'm a rural girl, so I just love it when we can develop a mailer with a message on it. I can recall going to the mailbox as a little girl, barefoot, walking up the road to the mailbox, open that mailbox and seeing mail. We still have individuals who get their communication that way. Not everybody is on Zoom or on computers. And so this message is so important, so significant. We have to find creative ways to do that. But anyway, MMERI operates on key components. That's education, community engagement, such as we'll be doing with Digital Venture as a partnership, community engagement and communications. Those are the three. Now, Andrew, we know that each of those could work very separately. We could just develop all this education information. We could host as many partnerships and community engagements, or we can have as many public service announcements or conversations on cannabis. But when you put those three key components together, wow, what a difference it makes in our delivery and making certain that we're reaching everybody. Some people like television, others like radio, people like community forums like we're gonna be having on the 20th. And so with that, that's the way that MMERI has organized this. Now, because it's a mandate from the legislature, we have to really keep good data. And so every 90 days, we submit this quarterly report to the Florida legislature, which has our public education plan. And that's what we mean by putting those three key components together in the way of a plan. But we have to measure how many African Americans or Hispanics did you all reach, and how did you reach them? So it's one of those of strong accountability, but we make it happen. Let me talk a little bit about this great staff that's here. It's a small staff, but a very committed staff. Mr. G.P. Mendy is our program and budget manager. Ms. Michelle Wilson, who is in charge of this partnership that we'll have on April 20th. She is a coordinator for education, training, and community engagement. Then we have, of course, Virginia King is our program administrator, and we've got a very brand new employee or team member, Marixia Krishan Jones. She serves as our contract manager for the FAMU MMERI. And of course, I serve as the executive director. And so the level of enthusiasm, the amount of work and knowledge that we put into our jobs to make certain that Florida A&M University is standing firm and is filled with good information that we want to push out to our minority communities. And we do that as a team effort, okay?
And as someone teaming with you on 420, the first conversation that we had was around an idea that we discussed on 420, which we all know is a recreational holiday for consumption. But I've always felt like as Black people, we don't really have that privilege yet. I think the 420 should be an event or a date where we take inventory. Where do we stand in the space? Where can we go from here? How do we assist one another? How can
Yes.
we learn more? So
Yes.
we
Yes.
partnered with Florida
Yes.
A&M, Black Enterprise Magazine, with Miri for
Mhm.
an event on 420 at the Grand Ballroom, where we discuss all the things that we're talking about now. Could you kind of give our viewers an idea of why it's so important to not just consume on 420, but to learn about the plant, learn about where you can go with it, and things of that nature?
Yes, thank you so much. And I can't say again, let me say again, Andrew, this is made for Miri. It's our alignment. As you said, we are going to use this opportunity on National Marijuana Day or Weed Day, whatever it's called. We are going to make certain that the narrative is one about educating. Okay. Now, I'm at my age, I'm not crazy. I know that there are people who are still using recreational, but we really want them to know that it's not legal in the state of Florida. I get a little bit of pushback when I say this, but there are Florida laws regarding having illegal marijuana. I say to college students all the time, you all may think that you're smart and you know more than what I know about it, but I want them to know that having small amounts, less than 15 grams, is a misdemeanor. If you've got 20, it's a felony. Okay, that still holds true. So we're going to use 420, this celebrated day, to really pull out all the stops. We'll have a message from our illustrious president, Dr. Larry Robinson, our vice president for research, and Dr. Charles Weatherford, who also serves as a principal investigator for Miri. We'll have a message from Senator Darrell Roussan. As I said, he is someone who really championed the legislature to make certain that Florida A&M University, the institution, only HBCU in the state system, with this charge to educate. And we've been educating individuals since 1887. So this is something that Senator Roussan helped us get through the legislature, and we're so proud. But you'll hear a message from him. It's a full day of exciting opportunities. That we're going to have a hybrid delivery, which means you can come in person as well as on Zoom. But expect panels throughout the day. There will be exhibitors there. We will have panel speakers and lecturers on just all kinds of topics about mental health or health issues, health concerns. Dr. Patricia Green-Powell is going to do a presentation along with Dr. Cherie Wiltshire from the School of Allied Health Sciences. We're so excited about it because our presentation is going to be tailored for students as well as community folk who may want to stop by. And so it's going to be a light fare breakfast. If that doesn't encourage you, we're going to offer you a lunch as well. And so come enjoy April 20th with us. We start early morning and we close down between 4:30 and 5 o'clock, I think. So, but it's a jam-packed day where the knowledge base will be expanded. When you leave, we are going to guarantee that you're going to leave smarter than what you came, because we're going to talk about some of the kinds of things that we really want minorities to know about. It's when I say Miri has a heavy lift, we really do have a heavy lift in terms of getting the information. You know, if my daddy were alive today, Andrew, he would not be pleased with me because, you know, he's a minister. And he would say, girl, what you doing out there selling and talking about the devil's weed and up in the pulpit preaching against it? But I would, if he were alive today, I think his eyes would be open though, because while we can't really advocate people getting it, but we really do want them to know, if you have one of the qualifying conditions like cancer, epilepsy, glaucoma, PTSD, Crohn's disease, chronic malignant pain, ALS, Parkinson's, multiple sclerosis, you know, if you have one of those, we want you to get a medical marijuana card. You know, we've got people who hide behind the fact that they still would much rather see their dealer down the street for PTSD rather than going to a qualified physician to get the recommendation. One of the things I hear quite often while I'm talking about the how to get the card and how individuals will take the recommendation from the qualified physician to medical marijuana treatment centers, that's what they're called here in Florida, or dispensary, they want to share, okay? And I know that because people have reported that to me. Oh, Dr. Green-Powell, my sister has PTSD, and when she gets hers, we go over on a Friday night and they use it. And so that's a no-no. That's still something that's unlawful. The other thing I would want, I'm hoping people will get from this session is ways of administering it. How do you get it? Because my own Aunt Dorothy, I have to say that, and she won't mind me saying it, has her medical marijuana card, and she uses tinctures. Lift up your tongue, put the drops. What I have found out from individuals who are in the religious category, they get really turned off because they say, Dr. Green-Powell, I don't want my grandson, my granddaughter seeing me smoke. Well, smoke is not the only way you get the medicinal value. And some of those ways that I said, pills and creams and tinctures, suppositories, so they'll learn this on 420. We really want to create a safe space where people can come in, get their questions answered, learn more about it, so that, MMERI operates on educate, learn, talk. The more we're educated, the more we're inspired to learn. And when we're inspired to learn, you're going to get out and talk about it at your barbershop, at your head. Girl, I went to that at Florida A&M University on 420, and I learned XYZ. That's the way that we make certain that the message is getting out there. We really do want to one day see our minority communities be able to sit down at the table and know the term THC, CBD, know the rules and regulations about it, know how to get that qualified, your card, know that you must be a permanent or seasonal worker. You have to make the application, have a qualifying condition, see a qualified physician, and we tell you where those are in the state of Florida. You don't even have to go looking for that. Just say, where is my nearest one in Orlando? We can tell you that. So we're a resource. We're a great resource for educating our minority communities. So all of that's going to be presented on 420 in this wonderful partnership that we're so excited about at Florida A&M University.
Yes, I'm excited also. And I want you to touch on one thing that you briefly mentioned.
Sure.
So
sure.
For this initiative, you guys are the fourth school that we've been privileged to partner with. We started at Southern in Louisiana. We went to Illinois with Chicago State and Olive Harvey. And now we're partnering with Florida A&M on 420, which was very strategic, as a pillar of Black education, and 420 being the most important date within cannabis. It only made sense that we partner with Florida A&M. But what's the importance of Black institutions and local colleges being able to create that information for ourselves so we can kind of control what is said about the plant and what we know about the plant out, as opposed to just conjecture or outdated information that's kind of been placed in our communities?
Oh, yes. And thank you. Wow. What you said a mouthful there, a very truthful mouthful. And so here at Florida A&M University and other HBCUs, we want our students to know that they can trust this information that we're giving to them. That's the first thing. It's not Patricia Green-Powell, it's not Andrews. This is well researched, evidence-based research that we are providing. We want our Black and Brown students at HBCUs to know what the laws are in the state of Florida, okay? We want them to know, as I said, about the qualifying conditions that plague our community. If you're taking strong opioids, I say this all the time, individuals who are taking the Tylenol PM, all of those they come with some side effects. But if you know what you're getting, the THC, that's the tetrahydrocannabidiol, that's the part that makes you high. If you know that, if you know CBD, see, we break it down so that when they leave us, they will be out in the world knowing. The cannabis business is a $1 billion industry, okay? And there are students who may want to be a part of that cannabis industry. And so the exhibits, I'm sure we'll be able to talk about that. Careers in the space, for an example. Just we're using 420 to really broaden that knowledge base of our HBCU students, the students who attend those institutions. So it's really to help them know more, because as I said, once you're educated, you're inspired to even learn more. I hear it all the time as we give in-face lectures. Now that the pandemic has us a little bit more relaxed, it's the classroom is my stage. I'll say it that way. So I have this semester gone to several classes, given the lecture, and students would come up to me after and say, I thought I knew Dr. Green-Powell, but I really don't know. So that's the rewarding piece, changing the attitudes of individuals about marijuana for medical use and the consequences of unlawful use in our communities.
Yes, very well said. And for our viewers who want to attend the event, you can go to Green Enterprise HBCU to RSVP for the event. But more importantly, Dr. Green-Powell, I would love for you to give our viewers where they can follow Miri for this information, and where they can just follow the initiative just past 420, just if they want to get educated on cannabis in Florida.
Thank you so much. Our website is MMERI.FAMU.edu, mary.famu.edu. Once you arrive at our website, you are going to want to spend some time there. Not bragging, but it's a well-developed website that serves as a resource for all things cannabis. That's medical as well as unlawful. And that's where you'll find the invitation, the link to register for this upcoming April 20th event. That's really what we want you to do. We promise you it'll be worth your while. If you want to call us, we're at 850-561-2456. That's Florida A&M University Medical Marijuana Education and Research Initiative, MMERI.famu.edu.
Thank you so much, Doctor. I'm looking forward to the event on 420 and what we can produce for the community and Black people at large. And I wish you the most success in 2022. And I look forward to everything that you're developing with the program.
Thank you so much. And thank you for this wonderful opportunity. I still remember the day that you and I talked about this, and we landed on the 420. And the more I tossed that around in my mind, I'm thinking, yes, it's a grand opportunity to align what we do here at the Florida A&M University Medical Marijuana Education Research Initiative. Thank you for this partnership. Together, we build strong bridges for those to come after us. So thank you so much.
No, thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you and everyone else at the event on 420.
Thank you. Have a great one. Bye-bye.